to Vinnies Talk. This is Titanic, 109th Titanic series. I want to welcome you guys. And you guys can tell that I have the model that I built here. I don't know if you get to see it. But this is a special podcast. I'm not going to be to watch some of my other videos that I did for 109. This is a series. So I did like a light taller, one of the survivors edition. I did Charles Yogan, a couple of survivors, and we went and talked about it. We also had live stories from their stories as they were on the ship itself. We want to welcome you guys to the 109th sit down, the anniversary of the Titanic tonight. Special to me. Today is April 14th. Today is the day that the Titanic did indeed hit the iceberg. At about 11:40 p.m. It's about 10:30 here, so getting close to that time. It's about so 11:40. The Titanic hit an iceberg. They try to avoid it, but she hit about 11:40. Starboard, meaning the right side of the ship, and over 5 compartments, as you may know it, flooded, and she started to go down. Now, today is a special day, not only because of the whole story of the Titanic, but if you guys watch the videos and you learn the history about the Titanic, there's things that you may not know that happened. Like many of the people that were traveling on her majestic ship were actually immigrants from Southampton and other countries around, the UK or London or England or whatever, maybe coming to America to try to live a better life. And there was also a lot of rich people as well, a lot of first class, second class people aboard the Titanic. But the thing that stands out the most to me is just the way that the officers and commanding officers aboard and that were on deck at the time when she hit. And a lot of people say this may cliche or whatnot, or this may sound a little conspiring, but some may say that they didn't handle it well, but I believe that the officers of the Titanic did indeed handle it well. The only thing that I wish they would have had more, and a lot of the survivors that I did watch about the Titanic, is obviously they needed more lifeboats, which wasn't nearly as much lifeboats as they could have had. And that was probably the thing that got me the most. Like, why wouldn't you put just more lifeboats, man, on the Titanic? It's such a big ship as she was. That gets me a lot. But this story of the Titanic is what got me involved in obviously watching the movies, but learning about the story and how she was built. Harland and Wolff, Belfast, Ireland. Just a big ship to build. It took about 2 years to build the Titanic. And when she finally launched, she launched from Belfast, and then she was docked in Southampton for a while. She was docked in Belfast, Northern Ireland, but then she got docked in Southampton, where she left Southampton to go on her maiden voyage to New York, where she didn't make it. As you may know, that she hit an iceberg and she went down. The way the Titanic was built was just amazing, from A deck, D deck, E deck, all the different promenade decks, and the way that the people were lined up on the ship was kind of crazy. And the children aboard, the youngest children aboard, the dogs, the different types of foods, the beers, the amount of food that they had was ridiculous. 20,000 boxes of beer, 20,000, cigars, they got potatoes, fucking 30,000 boxes of potatoes. And there's all this stuff that I read about. It's crazy. But today's a special day, April 14th, man. And a lot of people don't know this, but when she did go down, there was a lot of stories of saying that, a lot of people died, and there was a lot of people that died, but there was also quite a few stories where there was quite a few, and I wouldn't say like a lot of survivors, but a lot of quite survivors that got my attention was Charles Yogan, man. The baker who was on the aboard the Titanic was a baker, and he decided to take matters in his own, taking matter to his own hands and getting faded. You know what I'm saying? Getting inebriated, getting drunk when the ship was going down, and he managed to survive, managed to hold on at the very last moment until the Titanic slowly sunk her way to the surface, all the way down until the last gasping air, and he jumped off. And he what a remarkable story about this guy Charles. But the story of the Titanic, man, is classic. I can only imagine being there and living that moment. And we are going to be able to live some of that moment. Honor and Glory, they do a podcast every year, and I'm sure they're going to probably do one for the 109th this year. We'll see. But they're coming out with a video game. We want to give special thanks, and their demo is out. So if you guys want to go check out that Honor and Glory Titanic demo. It's on PC only, but I think they're coming out with it on Xbox, and I think they're gonna. Right now, it's in the making. So, but you're gonna have access to actually go and play with VR, and as well as just playing normally on a PC. And I think they're trying to come out with it on the Xbox. I'm not sure about PS5 or PlayStation yet, but I know they're trying to do it, and you're gonna be able to relive the whole, experience of being with the Titanic, being on the Titanic, the sinking, everything. And I just think that's amazing, man. The story behind the Titanic, and just being at the miles and miles at the sea. And we know that the Titanic is slowly and dwindling away underneath the Atlantic, the northern Atlantic Sea. It's so cold. All the salts and everything that's underneath that sea is just eating at it. And I was reading some stuff that in the next 30 years that the great ship, the Queen of the Ocean, as you may call it, or the majestic ship, the ship of dreams, will no longer be there, man. And it makes me sad, but the Titanic is not just a resting place for itself, but a resting place for so many souls that were on board. And a lot of people don't know that that's their grave. And I mean, yeah, for people to bring up stuff and put it in museums, put it in history, in a way, it's kind of a resting place for all the people that had passed away with the Titanic. So I feel like they should just leave it in that case, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to come up on here and just get a quick word with me and Vinnies Talk. Today is a special day for the Titanic. And for all of my people that love the Titanic and want to see more videos, I have tons of videos on my YouTube, and I'm just releasing more here with the 109th anniversary. So I want to thank you guys for watching my videos, man. I didn't want to make this video too long because I have other videos in this series of the anniversary where I'm talking about the survivors, and this is just a little sit down with your boy Vinny D, man, Young Wolf. And we're taking a look here. I don't know if you guys can see it up close, but I got the lights on. This is the ship that I built, Titanic, Queen of the Ocean. Oh yeah, 109th anniversary, man. And as we talk about the 109th anniversary of the Titanic, we got to give thanks, man. We got to give thanks and praise for God and for giving us life, for giving us this time and doing this podcast. But I can't believe it's 109 years. Just thinking about 109 years that the ship is underneath miles and miles. Don't forget, miles and miles underneath the ocean floor. And it's just crazy to me. So many years gone by and it's still there. And to think that in the next 30 years that, she might not be there because all the salts and everything on the bottom of the ocean is just eating at it. But man, being there on that night, just to think, if you were aboard that ship when she hit at about 11:40 p.m. and getting those guys underneath that's working in the coal room underneath, just putting all that coal and getting them engines going, the steam and everything. And, you know, it's just very, very, it just seems very crazy. But that's why we got to be blessed, man, just to bring you guys a little bit about the Titanic. And I wanted to come and talk a little bit. It took me about 2 days to build the model of the Titanic. Very happy that I did. I can honestly say that I felt a little like I had some goosebumps when I was building it. You guys may make fun of me or whatever, but like I said, I'm very passionate about it. And there's so many things. There's so many stories that people say and how she sank, or did she really sink, or some people think that she didn't. Maybe there was a fire. There were so many different conflicting stories about the Titanic, but the great majestic of, you know, her majestic feel of the Titanic is just what happened to it and how it happened. So we want to remember all the positive things, and we want to remember, of course, Captain Edward Smith, man. What a phenomenal captain. All these officers, like, you know, Officer Murdoch, Moody, and Officer Light, Commander Lightoller, you know, they tried to do their job the right way, and they tried to get everybody aboard the lifeboats that they could, and I think they did a phenomenal job. You cannot ask for more, you know what I mean? If you go ahead and watch the story, watch the movie, I tell everybody, go ahead and watch the 1958, A Night to Remember, because you learn a lot from the older films. I mean, don't get me wrong, you learn a lot from the James Cameron film, but the 1958 movie is A Night to Remember about the Titanic as well. And I think you learn a lot from watching that movie. You get a different perspective just about, you know, the commanding officers on the bridge at that moment when she hit, and how they handled it, and the captain and all the people in the control room, how they handled it. To the last moment, the control guy wanted to send out, you know, signals to the, you know, other boats and ships that were around, and it's just crazy, man. Just thinking about it, but yeah, man, this is Vinnies Talk. I'm just kind of lost at words, man. It's a special night tonight, and I just hope that you guys could check out all my other videos about the Titanic. And we just wanted to come on here for a few minutes, and I want to thank you guys for watching. This has been an amazing experience. I'm sure I'm going to be coming up and talking to you guys a lot more about the Titanic later down the road. But I want to wrap this up because we have like 4 or 5, 3. This will be like the third video. This is a sit down, but we have other videos that I'm doing for this anniversary. So check out all those. This is just one of them. Check out all the other ones that we did. Some of them are narration videos, and some of them are just videos of me introducing pictures and stuff of that nature. But thank you guys for watching. This has been an episode of Vinnies Talk, and 109 years later, man, of the Titanic. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, booyah. Thank you guys, man, and God bless the Titanic. 109-year anniversary. Thank you. Stay tuned, guys. 109th anniversary. This is the encore. Oh yeah, we're not done yet. This is special to me. Let's get right into the encore. Let's go. Done, huh? You thought I was done? I'm not done yet, man. This is Vinnies Talk. This is the Titanic episode 109th edition. And 109 years later. 109 years later, man. And what can we say? We are just, like I said before, man, we're blessed. Looking at the Titanic now. So many things we wish we could have done. So many things we wish we could have done differently in our lifetime. And I'm sure there's things in their lifetime they could have wished they'd done differently. But we got to say it's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful night to be alive. And as you may know, she was sailing right along. She was just going along her maiden voyage. And, you know, spotted by the guys in the crow's nest, you know. Iceberg, right ahead. Tried to stop it. Try to stop the engines from, you know, going and turn her. She turned, but she didn't turn. She didn't turn fast enough. She hit about 1140. mind you, when she did hit, she could withstand compartments 4 or 5. I believe it was 4 being flooded. But after 5 and 6 being flooded, we do know now to this day that there's no way that any ship of that magnitude could withstand all that water being inside the ship and just going through each deck and going through each watertight door. Because the watertight doors were being shut and locked, but the water was just coming in, finding its way in through different gaping holes and going from E deck, D deck, all the way up to the bow of the ship. I want to show you guys just a little graph and how you may think, or what do you guys think about how she went down. But so the Titanic, when she did hit, she hit on her starboard side. So what should be the starboard side? A lot of people are asking, what are the starboard side? Well, the starboard side is the right side of the ship, and the bow of the ship is right here. So if you guys can't see, I can show you. Show you on a graph here. This is my graph now. So when she hit, she was trying to turn, right? When she was trying to turn, iceberg was like this. She was trying to turn. They was trying to turn, but she hit right here. Gapping the hole on the side of her starboard side was all along this route here. And soon as she hit the iceberg on this side, gaping holes just started coming in, water spraying in. The locks on the iron, or what do you call it, whatever, on the side of the ship was just spraying in. Well, I mean, the locks were just pop, 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 just pop it in. Before you know, water's just pouring in. Each watertight door was closed immediately. For a while, the ship was good, right? But before you know it, the ship started to teeter. Teeter. And when it started to teeter, the pressure was just bringing the water down, right straight from the bow all the way until she reached a point about, I don't know, an angle of this magnitude. And when she reached an angle like this, what do you say, 80, 90 degree angle? The pressure of the ship, the power of the ocean, especially that cold water, I mean, she just split in half. But when she was like this, the water was just bringing her down, and she couldn't handle it, so she snapped into the bow, went straight under. This part here just snapped, and then the stern went back up, it went back down, and as soon as this snapped off, they say that this was kind of like twisted, and it twisted off. It went down, and it came up for a little bit more. The stern slowly creeped back up, and it just went down like this, as you may see it in the movie, and you guys may see it in the other Nights to Remember movie as well. But I built this, man, and I think I did a pretty decent job. Oh yeah. But yeah, man, it's a podcast. This is a simple podcast, and I just wanted to jump up and have a little sit down, talk a little bit about the Titanic. But like I said, man, there's a lot of conspiring stories. Everybody's story is different. Not as far as, the iceberg situation, but some say the iceberg was phenomenally big. It was, massive. It was a massive iceberg that they hit. And to this day, I think they're doing they're going out there and they're doing history of how big the iceberg was. And they're saying that the iceberg was massive, and it was. Reports say that it was massive, and not only was it a massive iceberg, but they were in a field of ice. This is like iceberg heaven. There was icebergs all over that area. When they were warned of icebergs in the area to try to steer clear of it. And I feel like that last second they did try to, move away and steer clear, but it was so hard to. You know what I mean? So hard to turn a ship of that magnitude so fast and so big. Because the Titanic was fucking huge. I can't wait to play the game. Honor and Glory, they got it coming out. They got the demo out, so we can download it on PC. If you guys want to head on over to Honor and Glory's YouTube page, I believe they have the demo on that page, and they're working on getting that full game release. Hopefully, it's going to be good. So I heard that once they do release it, you're going to be able to play it in VR. Oh my God, how amazing is that going to be playing in VR? And I heard they're working on doing it on Xbox One, so people could play it on Xbox. I don't know about PS, but that'll be amazing to do it that way. But yeah, man, I want to thank you guys for joining this podcast. This is a little encore with your boy Vinny D, Young Wolf, man, and this has been an episode of Vinnies Talk, 109th anniversary special. Thank you guys for joining, and until the next time, peace, and God bless the Titanic, man.